Open the meeting to the Board of Health today, Tuesday, September 19th, 4 p.m., held in the second floor hearing room, the Hanson Town Hall. This meeting is being recorded. President Kevin Perkins and Arlene Diaz, Mr. Amato and Teresa Cosio. So, first order of business is approved Board of Health minutes from August 29th, 2023.
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. We have a public hearing for Brianna Fry from Middleborough for body art practitioner, and Jewel Beauty Bar, 1000 Main Street, body art establishment. So I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing is now open. Do we have applications?
Right over there. Yep, that's everything. The notice and
Okay.
all the applications. And zoning approval as well.
Okay.
The body art would be new. A new part of it, right?
Yeah, I do lashes in there right now and like spa services.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have a separate room for like the eyebrow tattooing.
Do you want to just give us like a brief overview of kind of what you're doing and what you're looking to do and the location of the building?
Yeah, so I'm on the second floor of the commercial building on Main Street, and I'll just be tattooing eyebrows in there. On the inside of I have like two rooms, so like one room is my aesthetics things, and then the other room will be just for eyebrow tattoos.
So what you're doing now is just lashes or more than that?
Facials and lashes, yeah.
Okay.
When she first applied for this, I did a pre-inspection type thing. Really didn't know what she was doing. Went to the building's 1000 Main Street, and she's got a studio there. She's got two small rooms. Went over everything with her, what she was going to do, because I didn't really understand, you know,
what you need.
Yeah, the beauty part of it, you know. So she kind of explained everything. She's been very cooperative. The building owner's cooperative as far as, you know, her being there and everything, and quite impressed. You know, it's a neat and clean room. You know, very kind of impressive. And I had no problem. She still has to, once this gets approved, she still has to go through a full inspection when she's all done. But she's all set up. She knows what she has to do.
And I have a sink in there too.
I was going to ask about the
sink.
sink.
Yeah.
And then training. Is there training that's required? With
You got all that stuff right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
You got
all my
everything, all the
certifications
certs are right there. So.
And when were you looking to start?
As soon as possible.
ZBA already approved a special permit for this business.
It's attached to the very back of
I got
it. Yep.
Nice, I've got no problem. Like I said, there'll have to be a final inspection once she opens up, so we get all the paperwork done and stuff. So.
All the advertisement, everything was done
Yep. Okay.
properly.
Yep.
I think it's there.
2 weeks.
I don't have any questions. Do you have any questions?
Nope, let me just take a peek. See what the training is.
So remember, once you get going, get everything else set up, so you put another sink in, just give me a call and I'll do the final inspection.
Yeah, I think I have to have them like in the common area, so I can open that door. So it's like right in between those two rooms. Would you be able to come like next week, or should I call you, or?
Yeah, next week will be all right.
Next week, right.
Yeah. We'll get you going as soon as possible.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, we'll hold you up.
Okay. That's fine.
Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we grant a permit to Jewel Beauty Bar.
Easy for you to
Can we
say.
back this up? To the Brianna Fry.
And that's for the establishment, and also for the body art practitioner, right?
Right.
Two separate. Do you want to do as one motion or two motions?
Do we need two motions? Are we accepting her as a practitioner and the business?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll do one first.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept Brianna Fry as a body art practitioner practicing at 1000 Main Street, Hanson, Mass.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Make a motion that we allow a permit for her to work under the establishment Jewel Booty Bar. There we go.
There you go.
I can't help
There you go.
myself. I can't help myself.
Strike that.
You might have to change the name.
Right at this point.
Let me back it up again. Jewel Beauty Bar at 1000 Main Street, Hanson, Mass.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
And don't make me say it again.
I actually think it's not zoned for a booty bar. Because I think the zoning was passed years ago.
That's right, it's further up the street.
Yeah,
By
way
Moe's.
down across
By
from Moe's,
Moe's.
down the hill.
That's what happens when you don't feed me. Okay,
All right.
what's next? So she's all set?
You're all set, yeah.
You're gonna contact him about a final inspection?
Okay. Do you want me to call you like in the morning or
Yeah, no, I
tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
You can call him anytime you want.
Yeah, anytime.
All
Yeah.
right. Motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing for the body art establishment and the body art permit.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay, next item on the agenda is Kim
Bombardier.
Bombardier, temporary public health nurse. Kim?
She is,
How
over
are you?
there.
So we're in need of a public health nurse in the town of Hanson. And we're looking, we had posted it what, last week.
Previous 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got it in the paper, and I believe the only application we got was yours.
Okay.
So, just the way the agenda is posted, I don't know if we should appoint a permanent, or if we should just move forward with a temporary. We can add that to the
Because
agenda
that
on
came
the
in
next
after
meeting.
after
Yeah.
the posting.
So
Just because of the way the agenda is posted.
Right, and I have a question. Did you come in and did you already start doing,
I did
Maven?
agree to, yes, I have access to Maven and have looked at what is there.
okay,
And then we'll just have to decide whether it'll be permanent or if it's just helping you out. So.
okay, all right.
Okay, so for
Yeah,
now.
she set up a Maven, she has a phone, she has an email address, and she has a laptop, so.
She's good to
she's all
go.
set to
Okay,
So
But-
for now, I guess we'd just be looking at temporary, and next meeting we can put it on the agenda, and
why would we have to do temporary?
just because of the way.
Because the way it's
agenda is
posted, the application
Uh-huh.
that she
Because of the
submitted,
wording on the
I
paper.
didn't get until the agenda had already been posted.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of so that you can see who
Okay.
she is, and
Yes,
so she can start as temporary. And if she
And then-
doesn't run screaming from the building,
in 5
she
minutes.
can. Right, we can post it for October
Okay.
and go from there.
I will make a motion that we appoint Kim Bombardieri as a temporary public health nurse.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so you're officially a temporary public health nurse.
So how often are you doing the reports? Maybe.
I'll
Have you
give
done any?
you a report, for next month. I can tell you what was there, if you wanted to know that, as far as like routine diseases or diseases with no follow-up. I have some of that information today. But
Okay.
I'm also the public health nurse in Whitman, and I
Right.
do a report monthly for your meeting, that will outline what I've done.
What you're working on?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Works for me. It works for me.
So everything's working now, the phone, the computer, the email?
I haven't logged on from the computer yet. You don't need, per se, the town computer to get into Maven.
Yeah.
But like, as far as to do the reports and stuff, I will, but that will,
Just wanna make sure everything's working, so. it
yeah,
goes smooth,
yeah,
so.
I did gain the access. I've spoken with, Scott Trophy.
Yeah.
In charge of that.
Yep, and,
Somebody just
you know,
close that?
as far as.
Yeah, she did, somebody out there. I didn't think we were that loud.
Can't do that though.
Oh, fire?
No open meeting. Can't close the door.
That's fine. No, make as much noise as you want.
We need a distraction. Because I can't speak English.
All right,
So
so,
that will be helpful if you have the Maven report, because it hasn't been done in a long time.
Sure.
all right, so you'll
I'm
stay in
good.
communication with Gil and Teresa?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah, everything's going good so far, so.
Sounds good.
Let's take a look at that after.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So next item on the agenda, retention detention basins. Do we want to just move that?
Yeah, I don't,
Kinda
he was
last.
here, I don't know where he went.
Yeah, why don't we
He's
jump?
just sitting outside.
We don't have posted times on any of this, so we
Nope,
can kind of
right.
jump around. So why don't we go to the variance request? 310
Okay.
CMR 15.351.2 for grease trap pumping requirements for 421 Franklin Street, sausage homemade. And this was an informal we had previously for 421 Franklin Street, sausages homemade, that they were looking for relief from the pumping requirements for the grease trap, as set forth in Title V, that says it must be done every 3 months. You recall this, right?
I do,
Okay.
yep, I do. And we just had to have her request.
Yep, and we had to make a formal request before we could actually take any action on it. Do you want to just
I
introduce
think-
yourself, give us just a brief overview
Yeah.
for everyone else that are interested, so.
For example?
There you go. Yeah, I'm Glenna Tassinari, Sausages Homemade Natural on 421 Franklin Street, and I am applying for a variance from the quarterly pumping of grease trap because I don't cook there. Very little grease.
So for us, we were just trying to figure out,
I mean, Arlene, you had said you thought that self-monitoring and, you know, probably no less frequently than annually.
right, and I wanted to set it so that it's not being done at all, but it's
Oh, right.
ridiculous for you to do it every 3 months when you don't really need to.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the self-monitoring and then, having it done once a year, having it looked at once a year. And it just helps you in terms of maintenance for the once a year thing.
Yeah, I'd be okay with an annual pumping report and then self-monitoring throughout the year.
So I can make the motion,
Sure.
that we grant, her the ability to do an annual inspection instead of quarterly, and do self-monitoring, in the meantime.
And that was for 421 Franklin Street for
421.
sausages homemade. I'll
Yes.
second that. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye. Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
And if you have any problems, you should probably let the company know that we gave you the permit.
Yeah, I'll have to give them a call and just, I don't even know.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out when to set it up for. A year from when I started, I would
Thank you.
guess.
I don't know, when was your last one?
I've never had
You're
one.
all set with us?
I want, yeah.
That's the deal, we're working with a brand new, completely brand
Oh,
new
thank you.
system.
Okay, then we're
Okay.
gonna ask you to come back this time?
Next
Yeah.
item on the agenda, we have septic plans.
Thanks so much, everyone.
First one up, we have 500 Liberty Street, Mackenzie Engineering. One's done.
This is a
Yeah,
pretty,
you can share it and then
pretty
look at
simple,
the paperwork. He's gonna run us through it anyway. I believe.
Okay, this is a septic repair plan for 500 Liberty Street, proposed by Mackenzie Engineering Group.
Yeah, Austin Chartier, Mackenzie Engineering Group. I'm not the designer on this, but I've been filled in, so I should be able to answer any questions. But essentially, it's 500 Liberty Street, just on the corner here. It's currently a Conway Realty shop, as well as the Bostonian Barber Shop. So it's a septic repair. They have a field system out there. It does have border the Wampatuck Pond, so we'll be filing a notice of intent with conservation as well. Essentially, we were trying to keep the system where it is today. It's in the front portion, coming into the parking lot. But we did some Frimter tests. No, excuse me. Some sieve tests on that soil, as well as in the front corner where the system's proposed. And there's better soil in the top of the site over here. Essentially, it's 20 to 30 minute and inch soil. So a sandy loam. But so basically, we're just proposing to pump it over to this system. It's a Presby system, so it basically qualifies for reduced sizing. It's sized for 3 chairs in the barber shop, as well as the office area for Conway Realty. That's essentially it. They're keeping the existing tank and all utilities. They're keeping it all. So kind of minimizing the disturbance on site. There is a proposed retaining wall. The request for the separation in seasonal high groundwater from 4 to 3.1 feet. That's just essentially for aesthetics, so it's not sticking way out of the ground adjacent to High Street. It will still be sticking out a little bit, but it'll reduce that a little bit. And with these soils, the sandy loam there, it's a low permissibility soil. So it should still get, the treatment that is intended by Title V with the 4-foot groundwater separation.
Okay, is that the only variance? Where's the paperwork? The notes, sometimes I can't read what his notes are.
Yeah, they gave them all the paper, that's what I was looking for too.
Oh, okay.
This was reviewed in the
Yeah.
file,
Yes, it was. Sometimes it's hard to read what he writes.
and there is conservation approval on it already, because you're within that.
He just said he's going to conservation.
It's definitely going. I don't know if they
Yeah.
received
Yeah,
approval
no.
or not yet.
It would be
Okay.
contingent upon the
Let me
conservation
see.
approval.
They have an order of conditions.
Yeah.
However,
So,
the
yeah,
approval
filing-
is contingent,
filing number order
it's
conditions.
contingent on Board of Health approval.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking for a 1-foot groundwater reduction and the use of a sieve?
Correct. Yeah. It was high groundwater out there, so we just couldn't do perk tests.
Is that how it was applied for?
It's there's no sieve listed, the sieve is not listed as a,
Was it requested though?
there's no, requested waiver on that,
No, no, it said no.
no,
Is that a requirement?
yeah.
Look at this.
You want-
Yeah, we showed the requested waivers here, and I don't see the.
Yeah,
No,
just
it's
a
not.
groundwater reduction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin, could I ask a quick question?
Yeah?
Did I hear that we're keeping the existing tank there?
Yes,
Yes.
What size is that?
it is a 1,500 gallon.
It is.
Yep.
That's in the water table there, right? So it's tight.
Correct. And then so that's going to flow gravity to the pump chamber.
Sure.
I don't see it on this thing here either.
No, it just needs to be added to the plan.
Yeah.
Did this go to him twice?
Hmm?
I'm trying to figure out if it went to the reviewer twice. It's like 3 pages from him.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, I
there was
think
an
it did.
extensive review on
Yeah.
it, and we've addressed all the comments.
So the analysis is on the plan.
But the sieve, request for sieve just has to be added to the plan.
Right.
Should be added to the plan.
Yep, we can get that updated.
So the review, all the review stuff was addressed. Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like we'll probably just need a revised plan,
Yes.
and they can update the,
Yeah.
the waiver list on there as long as it was filed for.
Alright, so he did answer all the questions here. So we're asking for 2. We're asking for reduction in groundwater.
Yeah,
and we're asking
1-foot groundwater separation
one
and
for sieve.
the sieve analysis.
Okay. Do you have any more questions? No? I'll make a motion that we, is it 500? Approved for 500 Liberty Street, for separation in groundwater and for sieve analysis, and the plans will need to be updated.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome, thank you, we'll get you that plan.
Can you get me 3 copies,
Sure.
please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Pardon me?
Oh, where's the one you have to sign? Where do I sign?
What would you sign first? And
What? What do you got?
how is it that we're getting a water table reduction with the president? They give you that automatically.
That's what I always
Yeah.
understood as well.
Yeah.
With treatment, you can get a 1-foot reduction, correct?
Well, you automatically get a 2-foot reduction just by using it. It's approved under general use.
That's
So,
what I always
my
understood,
question-
but I'm not a
Or
designer.
was he, was
It's
Bill,
Are they
are
using
they
that
worried
2
about
foot, Or are they
the,
getting an additional foot? That's what I was wondering.
No.
No, they
So
they went from 4
allowing-
to 3.
You're allowing what is allowed.
Yeah, they're
by
going
the-
from 4 to 3.1.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
they didn't even have to ask for that.
Just
Well,
a sieve. I agree, but I'm not a designer.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I'm doing the right thing, that's all. I don't care if
That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
don't ask for what you don't need?
So I can sign this, Shane?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, All right.
Switch.
Next property we got 991 Monpont Street with the one and only Shane McGlone from McGlone Enterprises.
All right, so let me open up this one and show you what it is. So,
All right.
this was a plan that I think it's been in front of you guys already. And it
Yes.
was approved by putting some kind of, not a system that I would use, and not in the configuration that I would use. And so they decided to ditch that old plan and go back to, I did this one next door a long time ago, and sort of had this designed a long time ago. We weren't really sure how we got where we were, but we backtracked and here we are now. So we're putting a tank in behind the house. I'm putting in a conventional 18 by 20 leaching field, a 2-bedroom system. The variances that we needed to ask for are the same ones that were granted also before, which was a 5-foot property line setback and 3-foot setback to the shed. 1, 2, yes.
When was this brought before the board before? Was it a while ago?
A month, 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah, within the
probably
past 6
that.
months.
Oh,
I got a question.
Sure.
Do you actually need a request from the shed, depending on the size of it?
They did,
Yeah.
so I did. And
I
it
was
was
just
already
curious.
approved as a 3, I
Yeah.
took it. But in general, it depends on how fat I make this line. If I make that a dash line, it doesn't seem like you need to be very far away from it, does it?
Right.
But it's a legit shed, there's a room out there,
Yeah.
you know, this
Okay.
guy's got, you know.
So it's a structure.
Yeah, it's a real structure. I make that call, if this was on blocks, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
But if it had a foundation, I'd do it.
Okay. All right.
So I had notified the abutters with these white cards here, and for some reason we do not have our green cards
Thank you.
back yet, but, I mean, the 2 abutters are one, this is.
Yeah, you got a paper street
his
behind you,
daughter
you got
is on
Yeah.
one side, and the
I
chief is on
spoke
the other
to, I
side.
spoke to Chief O'Brien today. He said he had no problem whatsoever. They can do whatever they want, so. It's next door to his house, so.
Yeah, I don't think you can get any better. It's 30-foot wide lot.
Yeah,
And
well, that's it.
It's, you're playing the hand you got there. So.
Yeah. And there was one of these super low profile, I forget the brand name. Basically, it's like this roll of mesh that you roll out there.
Geomat stuff.
It was
Yeah.
geotech or something, right?
Yeah, and I just don't see why it would work, honestly. So I decided to go back to the conventional field. I'm really not even using the super small plastic fields anymore. They're just not, it's too susceptible to
Pipe and stone?
abuse, yeah.
Yeah.
When it gets small like this, I'm gonna go like that, and I'm gonna have the best longevity out of that one.
Now, why the H20 tank? Just because of the traffic going back and forth building the system?
Yeah, right now, right now, his driveway is split between he and his daughter over there, but he said at some point, there could be a scenario where they get a variance, I mean, an easement to come this way and actually park back here,
Yeah,
so
gotcha.
we wanted to make sure that would be able to accommodate that if if and when that happens.
Gotcha. Well, looks like a good plan. I don't have any questions, do you?
Nope, just Lisa with the
Nope.
No, we're all set. I think
he's
it's just, you know,
requesting.
it's a lot neater and cleaner plan than the previous one, so more sensible.
Just looking for a 5%
Just to see it setback, right,
rear
right,
and
no.
sides,
He
and
was
then
talking,
three
so I was waiting for him to finish. I'll make a motion that for, is it 1,001?
999.
Oh, 999 Monpont Street. We approve with a local upgrade reduction in the required setback.
You could do
Property
plan as
line?
proposed.
Yeah.
Or as written on the plan.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the plan as proposed for 991 Montponton Street. I'll second that. All in favor?
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
Okay, have a
Thanks,
good
Shane.
night. Thank
You want this plan?
That's
Yep.
yours.
That's mine. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
You
Thank
might
you.
want that tonight.
Nice. I thought you were gonna take it on with it.
Oh, no, I got one.
Thanks.
You probably
Bye-bye.
have 3. All right, what's next? East Washington.
East Washington.
Okay, next plan, we have 842 East Washington Street.
Bob couldn't make it, we can call him if need be.
This is drawn by Bob Kroll, Kroll Engineering.
There's only one variance, and that's reduction of groundwater.
No, Civ.
Is there a civ on that? I got
Mhm.
reduction.
You want to give Bob a call? Do you want to give him a call?
No, that's not
Not
good.
necessary.
That's
So we have an existing single-family dwelling, replacing existing system, Title V compliant system, 3-bedroom system, and they're looking for the use of a sieve analysis. Other than that, it's a Title V compliant system.
That's it? Okay, and the address is
842 East
Right,
Washington.
842 East Washington. All right.
It's gone through conservation, but
Okay.
the installer needs to set up a meeting with conservation.
Okay.
Okay, so
That's-
is it
that's
contingent
between-
upon
No, that's-
conservation?
We already
No.
got- we already got approved.
They already got approved, but they
Okay.
still, before they
All
do
right.
any work.
That's between-
All right, I'll make a motion for approval for 842 East Washington Street, proposed, as proposed on the plan.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor? Aye. Okay. We're all set.
Thank you.
Just keep it rolling in. You have one more?
No, 200
No,
Gray didn't even need to be on
that
the
wasn't
agenda.
it.
There's no variances on it. I don't know what I was thinking. I lost my mind.
You didn't have a long
I lost my
enough
mind there for a minute.
So you're gonna take care of that other one?
Yeah.
That Gray Lane?
And it wasn't new construction, so didn't need variances.
You can't have
Folded that
variances.
back
I know
page.
you did. I know you did. No, you can't have, you're not supposed to have variances on new construction.
That's what, I know, but
Yeah.
that's what I was asking, was it new construction?
No.
No, but it still didn't need any variance.
No, it didn't. There's no variances. I don't know, I was sleeping or something.
You don't have to hang around if you don't want.
I just wanted to know,
Oh.
you'll set your next meeting date.
Oh.
Oh, it's,
can
I'm
do that
sorry, the
right
next,
now.
no, the next meeting is October 17th.
October 17th?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, we can jump back to
Mr. Howard?
retention and detention areas in Hanson. Don Howard?
Oh,
How you doing, Don?
good. Can't see too good, but I'm good. No, I'm concerned about the the detention and retention areas that we have in town.
Yeah, I remember we.
For the simple reason about the mosquitoes.
Mhm.
All of them that have been built, most of them, with exception of the ones on Christopher Lane, are exposed pits.
Yep. I remember, I think we had a meeting informally on this once before.
We
We
did.
talked about underground basins, and we had talked about, I think you brought some pictures
Well,
of
I'm trying,
Christopher Lane.
I brought you a picture of of what was proposed over that,
At Christopher Lane, yep.
Christopher Lane.
Yep, yep.
Ed didn't have to do that. And I think it's a godsend that he did, because I put the same show on Plymouth County Planning Council over in Brockton, and a couple of the people talked afterwards and they asked questions, and one of them suggested I go see the Plymouth County Mosquito Control, which I did. And they thought it was a great idea to put them all underground. But the problem is, the ones that we have now, there are at least 20 of them that are breeding thousands of mosquitoes. And I don't know of any way of how to control it. And with the triple E that's around and the West Nile virus, it's a bad thing for mosquitoes being bred. Like especially over on Christopher Lane, down by Dave Nagel's house. There's a retention area there. That's full of water all summer long. Now that used to be a gravel pit. Every time it rained, the water went into the ground. And now, we humans, we're creating problems for ourselves that shouldn't be there. I was on the Board of Health in Hanson back in the late 60s and early 70s. And I had to get off of it because of the fact I was making people do things that they didn't want to do. And they told me if I continued to press the pressure on them, they were going to give me a pair of cement boots. Well, I didn't like that. But I didn't stay either because I had a young family. I had just built my house. And I've been living in Hanson since 1960, actually. I don't know what we can do about it. But I know the Board of Health has a lot of power. And a lot of it begins, in order to build a house, you have to come to the Board of Health to get a permit to give to the building inspector so you can build a house. And in the old article, Article 11, the State Sanitary Code, you had to have a person come on your property and dig an 8-foot hole to check where the water table is. And then also they had to do a perk test in the area approximately where the base of the leaching field was going to be. I did that for 10 years working for Earl Simmons in Hanover. All over the South, all over Plymouth County. And it's the same in every town and around. Sometimes you could see the money passing from pocket to pocket. And even in Rockland when I did stuff up there. And Whitman. And I don't know what we're going to do about it. And we've been trying to, I don't know, I've been to the selectmen, I've had the PowerPoint. Nobody wants to do anything to do with it. But I think you, the Board of Health, has more power than anybody else in here. And,
we have the authority, Don.
Huh?
We have the authority. There is a stormwater management plan they're all working on.
Well, the
and
stormwater management
So,
drainage committee that we got now, we're kind of stalemated for the fact that no matter what we try to do, we're getting shoved off into the corner. And
because it all comes under, it comes through planning.
I don't know what to do about it, all right?
Well,
That's why I'm coming to the Board of Health. Why, I've called you for the last 2 years to come and talk with me, Gil,
Yes.
at the house. Why won't you come talk to me?
I have.
No,
And-
you haven't. You haven't
I
come
said,
over to
we've
the
had this
house.
discussion.
And the last
Yes.
time I was in the car, you went 60 miles an hour from the water department to my house and said, I can't talk tonight, I'm too
No.
busy, and I don't know what's going on, Gil,
No,
between you and I.
no, nothing's on. I mean, just it's so busy. But getting back to mosquitoes, Plymouth County Mosquito Control does a very good job in Plymouth County.
I know they do.
All
They
the
do an
catch
excellent
basins are
job.
treated, all the retention areas are treated. They do a good job. There's been very few mosquitoes this year. And yes, the stormwater management plan, it's very slow, but it's working. I mean, we all contribute. The Board of Health, yeah, we have a couple of bylaws, but that's all mostly for illicit drainage. And we haven't had any illicit drainage in a while here. So that's kind of what the Board of Health does as far as drainage goes and whatnot. We work close with conservation. We monitor the outlets. You know yourself, we monitor Stump Brook Dam and all that. We monitor Brockton's, diversion and stuff. We get a monthly report, just like the water department does. Conservation, myself, we monitor all that stuff. We monitor all the outlets. And this heavy rains, we have 3 outlets. We have White Oak Brook, we have Emery Street, and we have Ocean Ave. Those are the main outlets.
We've had an exorbitant amount of water this year.
Yes, and it's handled it so far. And we want, every time there's a rainstorm, we do monitor it. And the Stump Brook Dam, a week straight, 20 million gallons over the top of the dam. The dam's 53.5, Mount Ponce raised itself to 54.5. So it's being launched, but to correct all these things, it takes a lot to correct all these. So we got to make sure the plumbing in the town of Hanson works first. And the plumbing is catch basins, manholes, and all that stuff. So they're working on that. You see them out there rebuilding catch basins there.
Yeah, they say they have,
but they're doing it. We
as long as it's going along, it's not happening.
Because we don't have the money for it. But the problems are being addressed. We don't have the money for it.
The trouble is, I think that one of the troubles is, I don't know when the town put these associations in, that the people that are in these associations have to take care of their own property. Ed Johnson, he still plows down there, the town.
Because that's,
it's all private.
Because it wasn't accepted. I believe there's deficiencies in the road or something, and that's why it wasn't accepted, but I don't believe that is intended.
Roller Coaster Road, look at this, that's been for years.
Yeah. Roller Coaster Road is just another situation.
10 years as a selectman, I know what's going on.
The way existing prior to subdivision control, that just.
And so nobody's taking care of it.
So moving on.
Maybe they didn't want to do a better.
Private ways list, I mean, that's.
Here's another question, I really have a question. Those 3 2-family condos across from Meadowbrook.
Yes.
How many septic tanks are there?
4 altogether, I believe. I don't remember offhand. There's 4 septic tanks. There's leaching chambers, L6s, and it's a very stone system, and it works very good there.
Well, it will, because it's good material.
Good material, yes. We've it's all Title V approved and inspected, engineered and everything. There's so many things happening. We're looking into some of the stuff. We're going to start having meetings there.
Is there a house on Holly Ridge having sewage problem?
Right now, I don't know if we have.
In the 90 bracket?
No.
No, not now.
To my knowledge.
Not now, I don't think so.
Because those were the, when you go in Holly Ridge, the road on the right, there's 5 houses on the right and 5 houses on the left. Across the street, there was lots 6 and 7, and then it was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those 2 lots didn't pass back when I was on the Board of Health, but there's 2 houses there.
Yeah, but things have changed since Article 11.
Well, the dirt doesn't change, Gil.
No, the dirt doesn't change, but Article 11,
The
that
perk
goes way
doesn't
back,
change.
it doesn't change. But it's done more scientifically now. Yes, you have to do the perk the same way, same time and everything, but the soils have changed. They have innovative alternative systems they use now. The technology has changed dramatically as far as the septic system.
Technology, to me, is different because of the fact that all sewage systems in the town of Hanson should be done so that it runs on gravity. For the simple fact is, now we've got Phillip Street with 48 apartments on it, that you're pumping sewage now up into it's 5 feet above the street.
It's a raised system.
Right? Why is that 5 feet above the street?
It's a raised system.
Where was the water table?
Water table, I believe it was like 3.5
Well, the
feet.
water table is in the ground.
Yeah, probably
It's supposed to
3.5
have
feet
4 feet from the base of the leaching field
It does have that.
to the water table.
That it does have.
Is that why it's raised up?
Yeah, it's raised up for a reason.
Well, why is the reason that it's raised up? I'm trying to find the technical aspect of this.
It's Title V compliant. But that particular property, Don.
You see, the thing about it is now, all right, you have to pump from the pump chamber from the tank up into the leaching field.
Correct.
Which uses electricity.
Yeah.
Hanson is a bedroom community.
Correct.
We run on gravity. You put in a system, you put in a septic tank, you put in a distribution box, and you put in a leaching field. Every time you flush the toilet, it goes into the tank and runs out by gravity.
Correct.
If you lose your electricity, the water department now, we've got generators at all our wells so that we can maintain the water pressure so you can flush your toilet.
And they've got a generator there to make sure they can flush.
What happens to these people that have a chamber that don't have a generator? Say that one fails on Phillips Street.
It's got a generator.
The poor people on the first floor are gonna get all the surge if the thing isn't pumped out.
No, it's more.
That's wrong. That's wrong that those were built there.
That property has a backup generator, and to your question, I mean, that's why there's a reserve area and a pump chamber, and that's why the floats are set at the heights that they're spec'd out at from the engineer, is to give reserve capacity in the pump chamber.
Right, okay.
In the event of a power outage.
What can you use that area for now? It's just wasted ground. If it was built down level with the street, they could play badminton on it or volleyball.
But they couldn't.
I mean, if a system's Title V compliant, it's Title V compliant. I mean, if you don't like the regulations, I mean, I propose to change it with the state. It's not.
There's a lot of the regulations that are in Title V that was in Article 11. That's the problem, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm an old man and I shouldn't be doing things like this, but I'm really concerned about the town of Hanson, and especially on Spring Street now, because the water table's so high in there, and where Spring Street, there's no drainage on it from Damien's to the Rockland line. That road that comes in from the development, you can't dispose of any water from that development on the Spring Street because it can cause a hazard. And that's a law written by the DOT, and you can check on that down in Taunton. That one was in effect way back when I worked in Hanover in the Department of Public Works.
Cushing Trails.
No, but are they doing any work up there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't been up that way.
Oh, yeah.
They've got there's retention areas up there, right?
Yes.
How deep are they?
Okay, I can't, I mean,
The plans are all available in zoning if you want to look at them.
Is that where they are?
The zoning office has them, yeah. That went through site plan review process.
Yeah, I know.
And peer review and everything.
Well, I was,
but if you're interested,
I'm sorry, I'm back, no, because of the fact I took care of my wife. She got Alzheimer's.
So Don, also on Cushing Trails there, I mean, the town even hired another review engineer just to review it again. So it's been reviewed, what, three different review engineers. So, I mean, we're killing it. We're rocking a dead horse here because things are being addressed. I know your concerns, your love for the town. I've got the same feeling. I love the town. These things are being addressed, and they're making progress.
I can't see that they are.
You know, they are. They're making progress. There's other, you know, like I say, the Board of Health power. Yes, we have power in certain areas. We have power Title V, but as far as drainage goes, I think we have only like 2 bylaws in the town bylaws. You know, I think it's 321 and 327. That's all we have, illicit drains and stuff. So we do contribute somewhat to stormwater management, but we don't have any control of it. If someone's dumping stuff down a catch basin, yes, we have control of it.
Okay.
So we're addressing the situation. So
just to kind of reel it back in, I mean, we're posted to talk about retention, detention areas. I mean, you know.
I'd like to see them all underground. I really would. I mean, even the one where Ritter is. That one should be underground. The ones on on Main Street, because once you put them underground, you can use it for parking area. You can use it for anything, and it's not a hole in the ground, not producing mosquitoes. This is why I'm trying to push to get them underground. And,
it takes a lot. You got to start.
It's the safest way to do it.
I understand. It takes a lot done. You got to start with planning. You got to start, you know, this is much bigger than what the Board of Health can handle. It's got to be under subdivision control. It starts with planning, the town planner and the planning board. and this is where it starts.
Yeah, I've been in
Get
to
the-
see Tony too, he's got the
This is where the-
Title V
you know.
running on his computer.
So,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Dawn, I mean, if someone's in compliance, I mean, they're in compliance, and that's kind of what we have to hold them to for a standard. I mean, I agree with you, there's multiple ways to do things, and there's better ways to do things, and there's okay ways to do things. I agree with you thinking that, of course, anything underground would be better. I agree. The question is it feasible, and, you know, really, is it practical, you know, to
Is it
Oh,
hold
more
everyone,
costly to the
to
public?
hold
The thing
everyone
about
to a
it being
standard
on
to
the
be doing
practical
that.
side of it, okay? It's not wasting land. It's putting the land back. You can use it for parking. You can use it for a field, for a badminton court or whatever. But the water itself just goes underground. And by putting them in with the filter treatment and so forth, the only other thing I added was working with conservation was the clean out port between the tank and the areas that were underground.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have some way to monitor them. Because Hanson's gonna be here for a long time. And the other main thing that I'm here for, and I'd like to really consider doing this, is the area between Main Street to Phillip Street, Phillip Street to Home Street, Home Street to West Washington Street and County Road, and back down to Franklin Street to Main Street, and Main Street back there. That area is a water aquifer.
yes,
That's where we get our drinking water.
yes.
And I really think that land should be protected, because in the future, some of the detergents they have now travel further underground if they get in there, and especially pesticide or herbicides that the train company is using on their railroad tracks. And I really don't want to see any of those two things get into the water table, for the simple fact you're going to lose your drinking water. That's terrible.
We are working to protect that land, Don, you know.
And
Yeah,
and
we
back when I was on the Board of Health, when they had the pallet company in there,
Right.
that land didn't perk. I don't know how the hell it perked now, 50 years later.
Because there's innovative systems. You know, Don, we're all working to do our best here. And you know, I'm trying to protect the land. You know, I've been in the meetings of the water department, this land we're trying to protect.
Gee,
And
Mama, I can't hear
this
you.
land we're protecting. You know, that whole area you talked about is all land that's.
I'd like to
we're trying
see it protected.
Those areas are protected, you know, that if it's a zone 1, it is protected, if it's a zone 2, it is protected in a Title V sense, that it's
Yeah, control water.
it's a nitrogen sensitive area as far as Title V is concerned, and that limits you on a lot of things. There's nitrogen loading requirements that you have to meet, and also from a zoning perspective of what you can do with properties, those are also protected.
Because Ritter tried to get,
There's a whole section in the bylaws for zoning that limits to what the uses can be in those specific areas.
all right,
It's in the bylaw book. I'd be
I'm
happy to
wasting your time, I'm
I'd
sorry.
be happy to show it to you if you want.
We're trying very hard to protect the lands, Don. You know we're doing that, so,
Well, I'll let you all go.
you know.
'Cause,
If you're curious, Dawn, it's in section 6F. It's aquifer and well protection district.
is that?
That's in the zoning bylaw book. And and that's specific about uses that you can and can't have. There's multiple
Well, that's
pages
just
of
number
it.
1, isn't it?
It's in section 6, use
I
regulations.
mean,
Use
the land
regulations.
itself.
The well
It's-
protection
it's-
zone.
Is
we
it
have that.
zone, are you asking, is it zone 1?
Yeah,
No, I believe it's all zone 1s and zone 2s.
Yeah, zone ones.
But there's
that
1,
have
2,
protection, Don.
3, 4, 5, 6. It's got to
Well-
be 8 pages on it, and then there's a floodplain district too.
Mr. Ritter tried to come to the water department to get us to release it because of that water section between the fire station and County Road, Whitman Street.
Yep.
And the middle school, that whole area there.
Yep.
Because there isn't a good area in there, that there's a good possibility that the town can put another deep well in there.
Yep.
and we'd wanna protect that one also.
But as far as protecting around those resource areas in the zone ones, they are protected from a zoning perspective. That, I mean, if you're interested, I would read that section 6F, if you're curious, and read through that. Read through it, and aside from that, it needs to be paid attention that that's actually being enforced by zoning. That they're not allowing uses that shouldn't be in those areas go in those areas. You know, it talks about, you know, businesses that use hazardous materials, that kind of stuff. And then from a Title V perspective, that there's nitrogen loading limitations that you have to comply with in order to put something and have a septic system, and how many gallon per day you can have. It's all limited.
Right.
All those zone 2s, you typically have to have 10,000 square feet of area on the parcel for 110 gallon per day of flow. If that, you know, that's not a standard that you have to meet on a lot that's not in a zone 2 or in a zone 1. But you have to meet those standards. You're held to a higher standard by Title V, and you're held to a higher standard from zoning as well. So I mean, there is quite a bit of protection in place. But if you're curious and you want to read that, you know, from a zoning perspective, you can read that section 6F. That might answer some questions you have.
Section 6F.
Yep. It's in use regulations is section 6, and it's F, and it's aquifer and well protection district, and that goes on to talk about if it's in a, you know, basically a nitrogen sensitive area is what we call it, Board of Health. But if it's in an area like that, it goes on to tell you what uses you can have for the property and what uses you can't.
All right, well, I'll leave you with the DEP I associated with John Hobble, and he told me last time that I talked with him that he says, good luck trying to get it 11 feet for your detention and retention areas. And I says, why is that? He says, because you probably never get it. And it's too bad that you can't, because you can't put in a decent retention area that's going to work properly unless you have 11 feet from the ground level to the water table. Because then it gives you 7 feet to put in your leaching field between the surface of the road.
Finished grade and your water table.
Finished grade, because you got to be 4 feet above the water table.
Right. Yeah. Essentially, what you're designing is a massive leaching field underground. You know, and
those two that are up there now, they're working fabulous. So that is too bad. I'll tell you what, if I won one of those things that you get 30 million or whatever dollars, I'd pay to have them all done. I'd do them myself. Honestly.
Paying a lot, paying a lottery.
Because the one on Williams Way was put in, okay? And the stone that they put in there is 18 inches higher than the flow line of the pipe. Now the flow line's down here. So when the water runs in here, I asked him, how's it going to get up on the stone? And the guy says, well, it's going to run up the stone here. I said, water's going to run uphill? Oh yeah, you know, I went over to my truck and I took out a 3/8 chain that was about 16 foot long that I had. I opened the tailgate, took it out and dropped it on the street. And as I'm walking down towards the catch basin they were standing on, I says, water's just like this 3/8 chain. When it runs downhill, it flows. And when I got down to the catch basin and I took the hook and I says, but you ever try to push a chain uphill? And their mouths went. I picked up the chain, put it in my pickup truck, shut it, and I left.
Yeah. Yeah, we
the engineer passed it, then it went work that way.
Yeah. We like Don, we all have a lot of respect for what you want to do, what you're trying to do. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I just think that the practicality and the feasibility of it is just it's not there. It's just a very, very, very
well, like I told the
thing
selectmen, it's not costing any money to anybody. Just make a law that you have to put them in underground.
But somebody's still going to have to pay the cost for that.
Who does?
Whoever has to put it in.
The developer has. That's right. The developer doesn't want to pay for it.
Okay.
But in
Okay.
turn, that's always passed on to the consumer
It's
as well.
whoever's
And
buying the
then with it-
houses, they're
with
gonna
it
they're gonna
also
pay
comes
for
the
it.
maintenance, and it also is gonna take up a lot of surface area on some of these sites that barely work, you know, how it is with how they have it laid
Yeah, but
out.
if they were underground in all these towns, you could put parking lots on them. Just like Shaw's that goes down parallel with Route 58. All those, that runs through there between the different parking areas, they're all open. They're doing mosquitoes there too.
Yeah, I think you're onto something, Dawn. In a perfect world, I think it would be a great thing. I just don't think
Well,
it's
I'm trying to
something.
make it perfect.
Yeah, no, and I respect that and I appreciate it. I just don't think it's something we can really get into, you know?
I was just hoping that I could get the Board of Health to my back too. Because I know the Plymouth County mosquito controllers. He was very pleased. I gave him the same pamphlet that I gave you people of the retention areas with the pictures and so forth. He said that, you know, that's the way that the people should be doing it. Well, I don't know.
All right, Dawn, well, thank
I
you
won't
for
hold
coming
up
back.
any more of your time.
Good to
Thank
see you,
you.
Dawn.
Thank you much, and I'll see you, Gil, next week
Next
anyway.
week, yeah.
Okay, on to old unfinished business, we have,
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
thanks, Dawn, have a
Bye,
good
Dawn.
night. We have, transfer station update. Gil, do you wanna handle the old unfinished business, transfer station update, public health nurse, and then the attendant job description, job posting? Do you wanna handle that, kinda with the chairman update, I guess? Does that make sense?
You mean with his agent report?
Yeah, with the chairman update. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
With the
that's
agent
it.
report.
Yeah,
With-
and then I
with the
have one
agent
other
report,
thing
yes.
we can do it at the end.
Okay,
I have to ask, but
do you wanna go?
you can do all of that. You want to incorporate that into?
I'm just thinking that Gil can kind of bring us up to speed on that stuff, and if there's any updates on that along with his report, does that make
Yeah,
sense?
that's
Okay.
fine.
So
Well,
Gil, if you want to jump into that?
Transfer station, all the repairs have been completed. They were done Friday. The Harvey came down, replaced all the pressure gauges. They realigned the cardboard container where the truck driver hit it before. There was 2 legs still broken on it. So they took that all apart, welded new legs on the cardboard compact container, off the cardboard compactor. That's all done. They realigned it so it's a couple of feet away from the electrical box that got bent, and that took place. So that got all taken care of. They welded new legs on 1, 3, and 4 compactors to make them sturdier, because the frames of the compactors were raw. So they took care of that one day. They sent 2 guys down from Northborough. We finally did make contact after making numerous phone calls, Teresa and myself, because they weren't really responding. We finally got to hold somebody up in Northborough with the main
Okay,
corporation.
so that was going to be my question on that. So moving forward, we have a good point of
We have
contact
good
for
point of
when we have
contact,
issues up
okay.
there. Okay,
The operations manager, Chris has
great.
Chris has a phone number of that guy, so that's all been taken care of at the present time. Everything any problems have all been corrected there, so.
Great.
So now that we have the gauges fixed, we can pay attention to what the weights are.
Well,
that are
yeah,
going out.
it's part human too, human part of it, like the guy explained to Chris. The gauges aren't gonna tell you everything.
No,
It's the human
no.
part of it too, so.
Right. Is there another way that they can check
Yeah,
that those are full?
like I told him, you gotta take a rubber mallet, you gotta pound the container, make sure the container's compacted. So,
Do they have a rubber mallet? Because I'll buy a rubber mallet. I'll buy a couple.
I mean, regardless of how the methods they are to determine that we're getting the most value for our dollar with them being full.
Right, right.
I mean, it's good that if there's equipment there that we lease and we're paying for that they need to maintain, that they need to maintain it.
We're
and
paying
that's-
about almost $90 a month for each one.
Right.
all,
No.
Oh.
It's $843 for 5.
For 5?
5.
yeah,
Okay.
But that's up significantly of what we used to pay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a big increase.
All right, so.
So we
moving
want them to
forward-
work if we're paying them.
Oh,
Of course
yeah.
we do, yeah.
Yeah,
May I see those?
If something's broken, we need to
Yeah,
get it fixed,
I
so.
want to read
But
that.
that's good, so we have a good contact,
Yes,
I have a
that's
question.
phone number,
definitely
email address, and
good,
stuff
yeah.
moving forward. Okay.
I just hold on to these so I can read them. I have a question for the-
Okay.
So we had,
So what about the public
so
health
public
nurse?
health
I mean-
nurse, I think we pretty much covered that, right? So-
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so we
So
have
we
Miss
posted
Bombardier
it.
for a temporary,
Yeah.
and we posted it. The only application we received was
Hers.
Kim's.
Kim's, right.
So I have no concern with moving forward if she's interested in the position. But I just think because of the way it was the way it was
Yes.
on the agenda. And
Yep.
I think it would be good just to wait till next meeting, we can put that on there. Maybe we get another applicant too, and we can have them interview, whatever.
I think it's hard to find somebody that wants to work
I
a
agree.
small amount of hours.
I agree.
And she does a small amount of hours for Whitman, so she could do 2 or 3 towns, very, easily. She knows what she's gonna be doing.
Granted, she wants to continue doing
Right.
it, so.
Right.
So we'll revisit that next meeting, we'll put that on the agenda. And then the transfer station attendant job description and job posting, Gil?
So the posting and the description is the same thing. I made copies for everybody. So this is, how we all started off, they wanted per diem and couldn't
we
do it
can't
per
do it.
diem. So this is the actual original posting for a part-time position. So I made copies of that. The salary range is definitely wrong. They have to be
That was in
posted.
2013 though.
Yeah. So,
That's a long
so
time
this
ago.
is what the part-time position is. The posting and description is the same thing.
But
that we
it
found.
can't be per diem. It would have to be part-time, which is what we didn't want to do. So we have either no backup or we have to hire somebody part-time, which doesn't save us any money. Which is we were trying not to spend more money. And how much do we have in the budget for this position?
22.
22,000.
Yes, 22.
Yeah, it seems like, and I don't even know if it's busy on Friday and Saturday. I don't even know if we hired somebody part-time, when would they work?
Well, I think we actually got to sit down with the union rep and see where it's flexible or not.
Good
Is that
luck with
possible,
that.
Teresa?
His message didn't seem flexible.
Well, I think we should discuss it. I mean,
You can?
I think he responded to the fact that it's, it would have to be offered to a union. If we had the
Right.
need for it, it'd have to be offered to a union position, in which we did use the highway department at the time when the
But
2
the
attendants
problem with
were off.
that
but-
is, we have no idea what that's gonna cost, because we would have to go from the highest range to the lowest range based on the person we got from highway. Because they all have different salaries, and they're all gonna be time and a half.
Yeah, not all, but
Yeah.
the highest range, no, he got straight time in there a few times, because we had to cover during the week.
And they didn't-
both the tenants were out, I think it was like maybe 6 or 7 days,
Mhm.
and some of those days were during the week that they covered.
But the most, if they're covering vacation, it's during the week. Are they really gonna give us a person during the week when they need them?
He did do it, but he was, because they were short when we had those people.
But that's not something that you can depend on.
No, it can't depend on, that's what I'm saying, you can't
If
depend
he
on.
has 4 people,
You know.
he can't give us one.
I know, this is why we gotta figure out what we're gonna, how we
Yeah.
can work this position.
The problem
Whether
is
we deal,
it's union, and we either have to hire somebody and have somebody work part-time, or use highway, if highway is available, essentially.
I mean, it has to be less than 20 hours a week.
Right, which is why
Or
we
else
have
you run into
19.
benefits.
Right.
So the only variable with that is, I would assume we would have to set a schedule. I mean,
Yes.
You
some
would.
sort of a schedule, and
You
then
would.
what do you do if it's the part-timer's off day, and it's, someone's out on vacation, or someone's out sick?
The
Because that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish, is a safety
That is,
aspect,
and
and
so-
keeping the place staffed.
Yes.
That there's not someone up there by themselves. That's what we're trying to accomplish, so I'm not sure how
Realistically,
we
you'd
can.
want somebody who could work during the week to cover vacations,
Right.
and not necessarily just the weekends. And I don't know how flexible somebody would be. Like John did it, but he was working the weekends because he had another job during the week.
Right.
So he wouldn't have been able to cover during the week.
Right, and you can't have a set schedule for a part-timer and tell the full-timers they can only take days off that the part-timer.
Was there.
That-
You
that
can't
is-
do that,
that
no.
you cannot
But
do,
then
no.
how do you use,
Right.
then you have to have the part-timer that's flexible enough to say, all right, so-and-so's going on vacation, can you work Monday and Tuesday instead of working Friday and Saturday? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you would have to have somebody who's retired.
Generally, somebody has to have a set schedule.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gil,
that's-
had you talked to the town administrator? I mean, they're human resources, correct?
Mhm.
Did you
Yeah,
run this by
no.
them to see if they had any input to it as to how we can hopefully find an end result to resolving this?
know that he's out this part-time person.
Yeah, I talked to her, and at the last meeting when I brought it up, you were gonna check with the union.
And I did.
And then she got the same answer that I had given
Right,
him.
that we couldn't do per diem.
We couldn't, and that's what she told me.
Mm.
You can't do per diem, and it has to be, the person has to be union. When they're hired, they become part of the union. Which is.
We currently do have the person still working there, but it's mostly on his schedule when he's available.
But he can't cover, can he cover during the week, vacations? I know his wife didn't want him working the weekends.
Right.
So the question is, if we had vacations, would he be able to cover those?
Partially. He won't commit the time because I believe we got some vacation time coming up next month. Couple of
Okay,
times.
but is Brian willing to do that?
Yes, so far, yes.
Okay, it's because
I
we never took him off the payroll.
Yeah, no. I think.
Yeah, but it was just the weekends. His wife didn't want him, especially in the summer. She didn't want him working.
Can't say I blame her.
No, they would go away to New Hampshire or Maine or something, and she was done with it. So she said no more weekends.
So I guess the question is, where do we go
gonna
with
try to
this?
look at maybe
I mean, we gotta-
contact the union, do it
I guess
again.
we need to get a better answer from Brian. Is he willing to cover vacations? Which is where we really need him. More so covering vacations so that he doesn't have to commit every week. Can he do vacations? If he can't do sick calls, then we'd have to go to highway.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of using highway, granted that they're interested and they're willing to do it. I mean, I look at that almost as kind of like per diem, you know?
Except
if
they're
we
going to
can.
be more expensive. They're going to be more expensive.
But in the long run,
the more expensive guys won't do it.
It's not as expensive as hiring somebody. It's cheaper than hiring somebody because
How is it cheaper?
Because if you hire somebody, they have to have a set schedule. It has to be on a regular basis.
Regular,
So
okay.
you're going to burn through whatever the budget money is.
Right.
Whereas,
we'd have situations where we'd be overstaffing the place essentially,
yes.
Yes.
and then we'd have.
So
Yes,
if
we
you
would.
if you go with using highway and the part-timer that we currently have, it's on an as-needed basis.
That's
and
fine.
you're not going to blow through the budget.
Right. But do we know that Brian would be willing?
It depends. It depends on his personal life.
So do we know about upcoming vacations?
Not as of yet, no.
Okay. They haven't planned anything.
No, not yet.
All right.
Next couple of
So we haven't asked him. So right, we're in the holding pattern, I guess.
What about giving him a bigger raise? Maybe that would.
What's the going rate?
I don't know what the bracket is in between there,
Right.
but as long as it's in between what wage and personnel has,
And
maybe it makes it more attractive
right,
to the person that's currently holding the position.
we don't know what that is right now.
I would have to look. I don't. Actually, hold on.
Oh, it's not, yeah.
I do have it on here. Hold on.
I mean, I'm all for working with the help that we got, you know, as far as if there's something that can be worked out with the.
Right, we
with
definitely
the
need somebody to cover
With the existing part-timer, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
And then if it's a possibility with highway, I mean, if we can get something, I mean, some feedback. from
Highway's
them.
gonna be as needed. If we
Right.
need them, we call, we ask, they can or they can't.
Right,
So
right.
let
But I mean,
me
is it something that, do they have interest in it? You know, or are we just kind of,
Some of the guys have
Yeah,
done it
that's
because if it's overtime, they'll do it.
Yeah.
They don't mind.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that will do it. 'cause
They'll
it's
do it.
overtime. I mean, at one point in time, the assistant superintendent did it because nobody else wanted it, and he did it himself. So.
Yeah.
It
no,
goes up to it's $15 to $21 an hour.
This one was right.
And yes, that's right, but so hold on one second. Hang on.
He's 17 or something.
That's what I'm looking at. Hang on. $17.64 is what he's currently at. So that is current for wage and personnel. However, if it's union, there is no way that the lowest union position is starting at $15 an hour.
Okay.
I don't even know if the lowest is starting at 21. So the bracket, should it be union, would have to fall between the union contract. And I don't know what
So
that is.
Brian, when Brian was hired, he probably wasn't hired as union.
See, Brian's
No.
never been union. We've
No.
always had somebody up there that was non-union,
I
as
know,
long as
but
I've
now,
been here.
I know, but now the union's saying that we can't do that.
Right, but he's already in place, so you
can't do anything about that. They can't.
I mean,
no.
he's already
I know.
there.
I knew the part-time person was non-union.
yeah,
Are you in the wage and personnel?
no,
No, afterwards, I'll ask you the question.
okay. No, I just looked at the
Sorry.
warrants, because I know that the grid is on the warrant.
Oh, okay. So, are we just in a holding pattern, and the next time we have somebody planning out, we ask Brian first, and then if not, we ask Highway?
Well, I'll talk to
That's
Brian
gonna be our
again,
plan.
because I wanna get, a longer lead time as far as the vacation times they're taking off. 'Cause,
Can you tell them that they have to request them within a certain time?
Yes, they are
Like, you
supposed
need
to
30
request
days
at a
notice,
certain
or
time.
whatever it is you need for
You
notice.
you
Yeah.
can't do 30 days notice, it's not in the contract.
It's not?
That you, they,
Yeah,
that they
but-
have to give 30 days notice in order to take vacation? No.
No.
Most places, most businesses, you can't just say, oh, by the way, in 2 weeks I'm going on vacation. That doesn't happen. Can you in your job say, excuse me?
Any job I've ever had, I could take vacation. I'm going on vacation, I'm going on vacation.
Nope. I've been in corporate jobs. No, you always put it in advance. for
Well, yes, in
vacation.
advance,
Do you?
but, you know.
At your job?
Yeah.
What's the, how far in advance is it required? You probably, I used to do mine a year in
They
advance.
make us pick for the whole year.
Yeah, for the whole year.
Oh, yeah, no, I've
Oh,
never
no.
had a job
That
like
must be in your
that.
contract, though.
Huh? I don't think it has anything to do with, does it have more with how many years you have? If you don't put in for your time, can you go over somebody that's got 20 more years than you?
They go by your seniority as far as
That's
when
right.
you get to, who gets to
Who
pick
gets to pick.
first and staffing levels, and then this
Yes.
isn't available, that's not available.
So
whatever,
you have
but-
so many people that can take a vacation this week. And if all the senior people take it, then you have to move to the next group. And then you move down to the next group until you get whatever's left over if you're the last one in. But you have to do it in
no.
advance.
Never.
Always. I've never worked anywhere where you didn't have to give them prior notice. I now on my
Yeah,
job
yeah,
have to
well,
give
yes,
30
out
days.
of courtesy, you'd give them prior notice. But if I decided that next week I want a trip to Aruba, I
It was-
put it in and
It was
done.
never courtesy, and I'm sure the MBTA does not do it by courtesy.
No, but I never worked
Never
for the
been.
MBTA. No, I've never had to do that.
No companies
Never.
that I know of ever heard of it being done that way.
Wasn't that funny? No,
Municipalities have their own little.
no,
Out
this
of
is
the
the
world.
first job I've ever had that's a municipality. I always worked in the real world.
Small companies,
Nope,
and they didn't require any notice for vacations.
no,
Hmm.
nope.
That's odd.
So let me work on that a little bit more.
Yes.
Talk to Brian and maybe I'll try to talk to Kevin again.
I mean, is
Highway,
it,
just maybe there's something we can
is
figure
there something
out.
we can get, like, maybe a call list going, like guys that are, willing to do it, not committing to
Right,
saying they'll
right.
do a specific day, but yes, it's something I'm interested in if something comes up.
Right,
call me.
right,
So
yes.
we're not trying to go through
Yes.
all the employees
could
that
ask.
are not interested. Maybe
Well,
we can
they
create
don't
a-
have that many.
Right, but I mean, if we
No,
have a
but-
call list and
yeah.
there's only 2 guys that are willing to do it, then.
You only call those 2, and you don't call anybody else.
Right.
That's
I'll
fine.
talk to Steve Graham again. I'll
Yeah,
talk to
just-
Steve, the supervisor.
Talk to Brian, and then talk to them and
You
see
know,
who's
To
interested.
see if we can have some sort of a call list of guys that
Yeah.
may be interested to it if it
Right.
becomes available.
Whoops, get back up.
Now, do they all work Monday through Friday, and then they're on call on weekends? How does that work for highway?
Well, they've been working Saturdays and Sundays, the paving.
Because
and
they're
stuff.
busy.
Yeah, they're busy, Saturdays and Sundays, because of the paving, the sweeping, and, a bunch of different things. Catch basins, they're way behind on catch basins, so it's held up a
Are they
lot.
short a person?
Yes, they are short a person again, so.
Okay. Yeah, so that all plays into it.
Alright, so, Gil, you'll
Yeah, I'm
follow
gonna
up
talk
with
to
them and
Steve.
see,
Yes, I'll try to
if we can
get
just
it
kind of, even
put
if we can
together.
just get something,
Yeah.
kind of mutually agreed upon, just as a hopefully temporary solution until we can really figure something out, but, and maybe if you could talk to the town administrator again to see if maybe she has some input to offer as to how we can hopefully resolve that with a permanent solution, we don't really have any ongoing project updates or anything. You don't have anything, Howling, do you?
No, I do have to get in touch with the other people that were on the committee. I have to reach out to Bill Duggan because I don't know if he's still on it or if Sullivan's back and Sullivan's working on the
Well,
finance committee.
they would need to reappoint somebody. They haven't had a meeting to do that.
Who?
Highway, the transfer station committee,
Task force.
Right.
the task force.
Right.
That's called.
Yes.
Yes, so in order if they want to change members, they'd have to have a meeting, and they haven't had a meeting in a couple months
No,
since Melissa was there.
no, because somehow Carol screwed up. So I will reach out to them. We had said after the holiday, we would pull something together. My schedule's been too busy. It's gonna open up now, so I'll reach out to them and find out when we can all get together.
All right.
Yeah, we have to be in the evening.
All right. I guess, Gil, if you want to just finish up your agent report.
Yeah, so, we've been having, weekly meetings, the fire department and, bill inspector, and we've been talking lately on buildings and stuff, in town, so we're talking today about, doing that weekly, the departments getting together and discussing different situations in town that, should be addressed, trying to catch a few things before they happen, so it seems like everybody's in agreement to that. And it looks like something we're going to progress with. And we do have situations on Main Street they're trying to square away in other areas along in the town that are problematic. Another thing we've done, we've gotten together looking at the subdivisions that there are what you call engineers, the review engineer, supposed to reviewing the project. So what we've done, we've gotten the requirements of the review engineer for these projects. I mentioned this to you about bringing them in, like Cushing Trails. The guy who did the review and everything, getting involved in what takes place with these building permits. The building permit issue's been squared away as far as addresses, and Jill's done a fantastic job. So it's all, it's all coming together as far as those places go. They've got control of, excuse me, control, the Cushing Trails, Riz project, as far as buildings and, addresses and all that, so everybody knows what's what there. So that's coming together very well. Jill's done a fantastic job. Everybody's doing a good job doing that stuff, so it's something we really had to do. So that's coming together. That's just a quick report on something that's, pulling together. Still working with Shaw's refrigeration system. We're still doing that. They have to fine tune that. We threw, a lot of food last, it's been 3 weeks now? A lot of food got thrown out, and it's in the thousands. And the refrigeration system is slightly small for what the place has. The food protection manager has been down there. They've got to balance the refrigeration, replace a lot of thermometers. The individual units that are on the floor, the refrigeration units, trying to get a lot of the digital units didn't work, so that's all being replaced. So still working with them. I noticed the other day when I drove by the back, I wanted to the back, I could tell by the how much the children had dropped the water on the ground. Things are working their brains out because of the heat. And there's a refrigeration unit they did replace. We thought they might have to replace that anyhow because the fan is broken, but they probably couldn't fix that. So this is. I say, as of right now, I probably have maybe 12 to 14 hours involved in this whole situation that took place in the inspections that we're doing.
When did they start having issues? Because I've not heard anything about this. We didn't talk about this last
Yeah,
month,
we
right?
did. Yeah, we talked about
What's the property?
Shaw's. Yeah. We probably threw out, and I can't really put a figure on it myself, between $35,000 and $50,000.
So they had a couple of times when the system went down. I've seen it on Facebook. I don't remember talking about it here at our meetings. But I remember seeing on Facebook they closed down.
Yeah, because I think it was part of the meeting before the last one, and we're still working on the system as far as what took place. So the food protection manager's been coming down and taking, temperature readings and stuff, and I swing in there because there's a serious problem. The refrigeration system just can't handle the store.
So if they can't handle the store, why would you order all that food or not upgrade the system? Because you continue to have the same problem.
It's an old system. It's
Huh?
an old system. It's an old system. No,
You
that's-
either spend the money, well, I guess,
Yeah,
it
that's-
doesn't make sense. You spend the money to
Yeah.
upgrade the system, or you keep throwing thousands of dollars of food away, but that's a tax write-off, so.
Yeah.
But it
And
doesn't
that-
make sense
Yeah.
that you're,
So that's an ongoing project. I see that happening another 3 or 4 weeks because all the refrigeration units, all the honeycombs have to be cleaned, and a few of them are broken, they have to be changed, so we're working on that. So another thing we're working on here is, so this goes on a little bit. So two gals restaurants shut down, abruptly shut down. So another person is going in there and setting it up, which they haven't got all the permits yet, right? So that's taken place. So
Isn't it the guy that owns Quote 58?
No.
No.
It's somebody locally that owns another restaurant.
No, it's the guy that owns Cranberry Deli. He's getting it for his niece. So they haven't set up
Where's
yet.
Cranberry Deli? Bronco?
No, in next to Ace Hardware.
The little strip mall.
No.
It's like
I
a
never
little,
go there.
I mean, a strip mall.
Yeah.
Right, I know there's a store in there and
Yeah.
Lash Lady, other than that.
Yeah. So he's working on that. So he's not sure if he's going to shut his store down or not. He's going to keep it open. So trying to talk to both and trying to get these permits done. They just can't start
Well,
start
they
running.
can't open until the permits are done.
Right.
Right,
So that's
right.
Making
They need to
people
come to us.
understand.
Oh, yeah.
Making people, and we have the T-Stop Market. He's proceeding, but he's not totally complete on his.
Is that the
permit
one next to the restaurant?
yet. Next to the sub shop, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that one there, so. And
Yeah, they're not done with their permit either.
not done with their permit yet either. So, but so I mean, we've got other issues going on as far as the developments. We're all taking a better look, at the building permits. If the building permits, what the contractors are actually doing. So taking a look at a few of these other permits that have been issued and stuff, or about to be issued. So that's another thing that's taking time. Again, the admins are doing a good job watching it and helping out here. So and we have caught a few things. So that's an ongoing thing that takes place constantly. So but this is what's hot on the press right now. I think.
Not about this.
So.
No, I was just wondering.
But-
I had a question about salary.
So, I think it pretty much covers it. I mean, as far as things happening, I think, the review engineers, getting involved with them more, making sure that things are taking place right in these projects. So that's about it.
I have just one question. What day is the holiday in November for the transfer station? To be closed? Is it the Friday or the Saturday?
For
November
veterans,
11th for veterans.
it would fall on November 11th, whatever.
So that's
Yeah,
Saturday.
Yeah, so it would be Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And what about October? Any holidays for them in October?
Yes,
Do they get Columbus?
October 9th.
I don't know what day that's.
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday?
Yeah, veterans is one of the only,
Weird, it
floater.
stayed?
It just floats
Stays on the
around.
11th. No,
Yeah.
it stays on the 11th.
Well, yeah, but if it's not always a Monday, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
always the
Same day,
11th.
different day.
So,
The others, they messed with that one, they couldn't.
yeah, so
then it-
whatever day it falls on is the day that the transfer station would be closed.
So have we put anything up, because that's like 2 weeks, that it's gonna be closed that day?
No,
Any notices?
no.
So people will know in advance and then
No,
won't
because if you
complain?
do it now, people are gonna,
They're not gonna pay attention, so
No.
you do it like a week before?
probably the Thursday before. So what is it, the 9th is a Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so probably Wednesday or Thursday. Because if you do it before that, people forget. Am I wrong? I'm
Oh,
not
I don't
wrong.
know.
No, I mean, yeah. So I'll put it on the Facebook page. I'll put it on the website, and then I'll have it emailed so it'll go to everybody.
So it'll go out to everybody,
Mhm.
and then I have to figure out how we send it to cable. The easy way to do that. So it's there too,
Yeah, I don't-
on the bulletin, yeah, a lot of people use that bulletin.
All right. Do you have any other questions for Gil?
No, I have 2 other questions, but neither of them are for Gil.
Okay. Gil, I just got one question. Where are we at with doing the establishment inspections for food inspections? Do you have a list kind of that you need to start working on, or?
I did a residential kitchen the other day, and I'm setting up. I got a thing from.
It was on his report that he emailed us,
So
residential kitchen.
I've got like 2 or 3 I have to do probably
Okay.
before Friday.
But
There's an issue that's at one place, so That's definitely gotta get done.
but it's
so.
just about time to start.
Right.
It's just about time to start.
Yes, there is a list.
I just wanna make sure that you're not leaving it too long and not gonna bury yourself with inspections, so.
No, it's been busy, so, but,
No, I know it has been, and that's why I'm just
yeah.
making sure, just make sure you stay up on that and
Yeah, that's why I think,
get them done.
on some of these reports, I'm just gonna do a continuation list on some of these things, like, don't get into detail with, Liberty, Woods there, getting into detail what's being done and all that stuff, cause it's so involved. Just a quick update, yeah, inspection's done, Cushing Trail, same thing. Egan, things are getting done, but to make it in a report every, every meeting is kinda,
Yeah, I mean, it's not our job to micromanage the project, that's honestly, that's
Yeah.
the scope of the ZBA and their review engineer. That's their job.
Yeah.
We're a small part of it, but they're the permitting authority, they're the ones that are responsible for the review and.
And they're gonna have to make sure that they're doing what they applied to do, what they said they were gonna do.
Right.
the situations, both projects have sewer manholes and stuff, discussed that before, but they're using total stations, talking to the design engineer to make sure that, everything's in its proper place. All the inverts match and everything, so, which is kinda,
Okay. Alright, yeah, just make sure you're staying up on those food inspections so we don't get backlogged with those that we're
Yeah.
staying up on them and stuff. I don't have anything else for you, Joe.
What was that?
Eileen, what did you have that was additional?
I have a question, but she can answer it afterwards about the salary for
Oh,
the
yeah.
animal person, the range and the salary that we're currently, paying now. Another town asked me,
I think it's, well, it's,
well, there's a proposal that in October.
Yes.
Where we're gonna bring it to.
yes.
So I guess I wanna know that,
Oh.
what we're paying now and then that, but,
I think that thing they surveyed said that was for the animal control officer.
no, it wasn't animal control. It
What?
definitely wasn't the ACO, yeah.
I think the one I got was ACO.
No, it definitely said not the ACO.
So right now,
Animal inspector it was.
Huh.
right now it's
Okay.
1,000 to 1,600, which has not been updated in years, so I would not go by that.
But that's
But it
not, that's the range. We were paying above that. We're paying above that.
Right, yes, right. So now it's going from 1,000 to 3,500 is the range.
But you don't know what we're currently,
Yes, I do.
okay.
I want to say it's 152, but hold on, I can look it up.
250.
Yeah, it was animal inspector,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it said right in the message,
Hold on.
not the ACO.
I just put it in too, so hang on. 'Cause it's due next week.
Okay.
250.42
And what is that?
monthly.
And that's not hours, that's just per month.
Correct. Yeah. So it'll go up by 2%. Should it? I don't know.
Pass.
It wouldn't pass, but yes.
Okay.
Alright.
So the only other question I had was, this month we didn't have the, agent's review on it, but I was gonna suggest that you and I have an executive session where we can talk. You had said last month you wanted to lay it to rest. We didn't finish talking about it, but I thought if we did an executive session, then we could, talk about it, not during the meeting.
Yeah, I don't know if we actually can meet in executive session.
Yeah, we can. Why wouldn't we be able to?
We just, the board.
Not
members-
now, I'm talking about, just you and I and a future date. Yeah, that's what executive session would be,
And that would be regarding
the review. You and I had talked about,
the performance
different things,
review?
yeah.
I mean, as long as it's
I'll have to
allowed.
check. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but as long
I
as
don't.
it's
I
allowed,
don't
it's not gonna
know. I've
violate
never.
anything.
I've never done executive session. We were going to do it once, and we ended up not
Yeah.
having to do it.
Right,
But I can check.
check.
Yeah,
And then we could
I
do it
can't
at a
even
time
take it.
that-
I guess.
Huh?
I can't even take a guess if that, because I know a lot of them are done in. Most of them are done in an open meeting. I don't know. I'll find out.
Find out.
I mean, if it's something that we can do, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I
We'll find out.
just wanna make sure we're not causing problems for ourselves, that's
Right,
all.
Yeah, yep, so, that was my other question.
Okay. I guess if that's it, nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay. Second that, all in favor?
Aye.
5:33.
Meeting adjourned at 5:33.